Hello guys, my name is Moses Mash. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur and a clinic officer. And without wasting much more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video is about Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you have not read the book, so we're gonna summarize the book today and see what we can get out of it. It's a very interesting book. If you're a businessman or an aspiring businessman, this is a very interesting book. So there is something that we can get out of it, and without wasting much more time, let's dive into business. Before I forget, please take 1 second and smash the like button, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this video so that you'll get some more educational video in the future on how to get rich. So thank you, and let's dive into today's video. And before we start, let's have some definition of some terms: assets and liabilities. What is an asset? What do you know about an asset? An asset is something that gets money into your pocket, but a liability is something that gets money out of your pocket. What's an example of an asset? An asset is like a rental property. A rental property, you get rent at the end of every month. That's an asset because it gets money into your pocket at the end of every month. But what's a liability? An example of a liability is like a car. A car, you keep fueling the car, you keep getting it to be maintained. So that's a liability because it keeps getting money out of your pocket. Having said that, so number one thing that Robert Kiyosaki's book, we learn from Robert Kiyosaki's book is rich people buy assets like rental property, stocks, bonds, etc. But poor people buy liabilities that they think are assets. For example, poor people buy cars and they think a car is an asset. This is something that maybe they can hold when taking a loan. They think that's an asset, but it's a liability because it keeps making them poor and poor. So another example of a liability that poor people think is an asset is something like maybe a big sound system, a big house. A house is not an asset, it's a liability because you keep paying utility bills, electricity, water, etc. But rich people, they buy assets. They buy assets like real estate, they buy assets like bonds, they buy assets like stocks, and they kept getting rich. Mr. Warren Buffett from United States of America once said, if you don't want to work until the day you die, find a way to make money while you're sleeping. If that have sunk in your head, please give this video a thumbs up, and let's get into the item number 2. Number 2 thing that the rich people have mastered is the power of corporations. What do I mean by power of corporations? Most rich people own companies, and companies protect the personal wallet of rich people. For example, if a company gets into a debt, the owner of the company and the company are two different entities. So if there is something to be auctioned, they auction property from the company. For example, if a company owns a car, they auction that car, but the owner of the company, his personal property, can't be auctioned because those are two different things. So if you own a company and a company gets into debt, and maybe a bank come for their property, they will not auction your property, but they will auction the company's property. So some rich people, they take loans through the companies, but it's a personal loan. So when the banks come, they don't auction the property of the owner of the company. They auction the property of the company. So their personal wallet is protected. What about middle class? When you get a loan from a bank, if you are middle class or a poor person, when you default to pay your money, the bank's money, the banks come and auctions your personal property. And the other thing that the power of corporations protect rich people is through taxes. For example, when poor people or middle class or civil servants get their money, before even they get their salary, they are taxed before even they get their salaries. So you earn your money, the government take their taxes, then they give you the rest. But what about big companies? Big companies, they earn their money, then they pay for the expenses, then they get taxed the remainder of what is remaining after the expenses are done. So that's a big thing, because one of the expenses that the companies have is maybe buying land. If the company is buying land or buying anything like a car, they count that as expenses, and that money is not taxed at all. But what about a middle class person? When you get your salary, You are even taxed before even you see the money. So that's another thing that rich people benefit that you need to learn to get rich. Because if you get rich, none of those downsides come to your way. So let's get to the item number 3. Item number 3 that we learn from this book is stop focusing on your income. Focus on acquiring assets. And that's what rich people do. Robert Kiyosaki had 2 dads, a rich dad and a poor dad. The poor dad was on the top of the school system because he had acquired a PhD. He was a teacher and he had a PhD. Most people around you don't have PhDs. And yet, when they get one, they don't even become rich. They might have a car, they might have a good house, their children might go to a better school, but they are not rich. And that's the truth of the matter. They are not rich at all. But Robert Kiyosaki's rich dad even never finished high school. But he had learned to acquire assets. And this item number 3 teaches us not to focus on salary increments, promotions at work, but it teaches us to focus on acquiring more assets. Acquire real estate, acquire more land, because if you acquire land today, after several years it will have increased in value, and maybe you sell it at a higher price. Or if you develop a rental property, it will make money while you're sleeping. But if you concentrate on your jobs, or you concentrate on maybe salary increments, you'll work until the day you die. But if you focus on acquiring assets, you will make money while you're sleeping. So you know what to do. Stop focusing on your salary increments. Focus on acquiring assets. Whatever small you have, whatever small money that you make, focus on acquiring assets that will make you money while you're sleeping, instead of focusing on salaries or focusing on promotions. Because if you get a salary increment, you have to work more to please your boss. If you get a promotion, that means you have even to work harder and to trade in your time for money, instead of money working for you. So that's the item number 3. And if you have learned something from it, please give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the item number 4. Item number 4 that we learn from Rich Dad Poor Dad's book is stop diversifying when you have little money, or stop diversifying when you are starting up. What does that mean? For example, if you have a small cave, stop diversifying into other businesses, maybe like welding businesses or farming businesses. First, focus on these businesses, master the recipes that people like, and expand the business. When you expand the business and the money start rolling in, now you can start thinking of other businesses. Because chances are, if you start diversifying when you still have little money, and you don't have a lot of information on the other businesses that you are diversifying on, chances are those businesses will fail and it will take you backwards. So when you have little money, focus and concentrate on one business, and expand that business. Concentrate to build up that business to be a big business. Then when you are big time, you can start focusing on other things, because even if they fail, you are already a big person. If you have watched this video up to this far, I'll give you a bonus tip, and that is financial literacy. Whatever you think or whatever you do, make time to educate yourself about financial literacy. Financial literacy is a gold mine that you need to explore if you need to learn more about making money. Because making money or getting rich is like a game, and this is a game that rich people have mastered. If you have not mastered this game, getting rich is very hard. You'll concentrate your time on getting jobs, not acquiring assets, buying liabilities instead of buying assets, not diving in corporations. So this bonus tip number 5 is you make time for financial literacy. Learn about accounting, learn about investment, learn everything you need to know about money, because it's a game and very few people win this game. And that's why there are a lot of rich people and others are middle class and poor broke people. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next educational video. So please, if you are made to the end of this video, please like the video and subscribe if you have not, and share the video, and please leave a comment so that we can improve our channel. And with that, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.